All right, guys, back out here another day working on the E30s, and right now I just got the hood from the white parts car sitting on the two-door, threw some spray paint at it. I just got one coat on there right now. You can kind of see it's still pretty blotchy, but it's on there. Car looks more like a car now. The four-door parts car is looking less and less like a car. I think I left off with just kind of showing the cars and stuff. I kind of got busy and I pretty much gutted the whole thing out. I got the wiring harness pulled from all the back and getting ready to run through the firewall. So you got like the side markers, the tail lights, some harness back here, so it all kind of wraps around here. There's a spot right there where it goes through into the cabin of the car. And then it comes through here on the inside. And I started pulling the wiring chassis harness through the firewall. I kind of needed an extra set of hands to pull that, so I'm gonna have to kind of wait on that. I got the headlights, the grill. I have the rest of the chassis harness already pulled, just kind of laying over the engine bay. So to kind of get it ready, so once I can get the wiring harness pulled from inside the car and out, right away it will go right into the coupe. So once we put it into the coupe, then we'll be able to put all the interior and everything back into this car. Now I did put the HVAC unit in, and so that's ready to go. I put some new weather stripping on the HVAC unit, but it obviously did not hold. It sat for overnight and it already peeled. That's fine. I have some contact cement that I'll put on there and let it glue it back down, so that way we can have a nice seal and get the best airflow out of it. But it's all sealed back up now, so now I don't have to worry about water getting into it. I put two of the bottle caps on this side, just so it kind of looks more like a, I don't know, complete car in my eyes. But that's where we're at so far with them. I mean, the biggest thing is getting the harness switched over. So once the harness is switched over from the parts car, I can really get to town on hooking up the interior, or plugging all the wiring harness in, putting the interior back in the car, so I can put like the rear seats, the package tray, the front seats. I can get the center console, the dash, and get everything in, get all the grounds hooked up properly. And then once I get everything hooked up, then I'm going to test everything. I'm going to hook a battery up and make sure everything's working as it should and functioning as it should. Make sure there's no loose connections, no split ends anywhere. And then I'm going to pull this motor out, and hopefully I just had like a bad connection or a bad starter when I was trying to start this car. I know it had power everywhere, so I wasn't concerned on that aspect, but it wasn't turning over. So I don't know if this motor's possibly not good, but I will bar it over once I pull it out of the engine bay, and I'll show that once I get to that point. But I'm trying to not drag this project out too long. I at least want to get down to the point where I can get rid of this chassis or do what I'm going to do with it, so that way I have driveway space and can get back to other projects and get back on to the single cab dually, which is sitting back there. But yeah, I'm gonna keep grinding away here. I'm gonna have a set of helping hands here in a little bit to pull that harness out, so I'll probably bring you back around once we start pushing the harness through the car. All right, so we got a little update for you guys. So I've been working on it. Got the harness in the coupe now. Started running everything the way back it should. You got it kind of comes over to this hump here. You got like your window switches and some other like miscellaneous stuff. You got your HVAC right here. And then you got the harness that comes through there on the firewall. And then it comes down here, which you have your like your tail lights, your fuel pump, tail lights, trunk lock, rear speakers, rear window defroster. So it's starting to come out pretty decent. You know, you're working on a almost 40-year-old car. These clips they're brittle, and that's fine. So I've just been using electrical tape, zip ties to run it how it was in the factory, keeping everything together. So that way, you know, it's as stock as possible. I don't feel like buying special BMW clips for this. Doesn't seem worth it in my eyes, because eventually we are going to be doing an LS swap and a T56. So this car will be eventually butchered in a way. So I don't see that. All I got left for wiring is just the radio harness. Just kind of wait until everything else was in so that I had easy access. So I did talk about the weather strip or the ceiling for the HVAC. I ended up just pulling it off. I'm going to run up to the store and try to get something that's very similar to what the OEM is. But yeah, I'm going to do that. Put that on. I have the dash sitting over here. I got the wiring all in it, tied back down like it was from factory. So we'll be good to put the dash back in as soon as I get the weather stripping. Sorry, the neighbor's getting trees cut down, but it's getting there. So I'm gonna run up to my local hardware store to go get some foam weather stripping for the HVAC, and then we can put the dash in so we can keep moving right along with this. Okay, so the last clip we were talking about getting some new weather stripping for the HVAC system. So I did end up getting this 1/2 by 1/4 stuff. I think it's in this bag. I went with this kind of foam tape. You kind of pull it, stick it down, cut it to your liking. It seemed to work really good. It was like $5, so obviously it was pretty optimal for me to want to buy that. And as you can see, we have the dashes in. It's semi bolted in, where I'm just taking my time because I really want to make sure that all the plugs, the wiring, nothing's getting pinched or binding anywhere. So I'm just, you know, taking my time, and it's getting there. I have pretty much everything plugged in. I'm almost ready to start testing everything to make sure it's all working before I finish buttoning everything up. But it's a slow process, just because I want it to be nice when I'm done. It still looks like a mess, but it is a lot cleaner. But yeah, look what a difference having a dash in a car. So hopefully by the end of this week, and I get all the wiring plugged back in, and I can finish putting the dash together, get the carpet back in, get the seats back in, and actually have a like complete interior on the car, or what I have as far as parts for a complete interior. But yeah, we're getting there. I mean, the biggest thing is with the full chassis harness, just take your time. You know, you don't have to rush it. You know, work on it a little bit every day until it looks like something. I mean, I'm pretty confident that I'm not gonna have too many issues once I start putting power to everything. But I still have to do everything in the engine bay. I just have it all sitting in here. So before I can test power to anything, I really want to make sure I have all this ran. I still have part of the old chopped harness in here, And if anyone hasn't seen the other videos, I mean, this is what I started with. I started with the old fuse box just being cut out, just ends just being cut everywhere. So, you know, this thing had nothing. I literally pulled it out of my buddy's parents' backyard where it had been sitting for, I don't know, 5-6 years like this. So I don't feel too bad. It's definitely a big project, but it's getting there. Come on this side, you see I have everything all tucked and ran up on here. I started wiping down the floors a little bit, so I know you guys can't, but it smelled really bad in here. So it's finally starting to smell, or have no smell. So I think that's where I'm going to end it with this one. I'm kind of beat doing all this wiring and putting the dash in. So on the next video, hopefully we'll have more interior, and maybe we could show like the dash being lit up or the HVAC or the radio working. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more E30 content. If you hate E30 content, I'm sorry. We'll be working on the single cab dually probably later on in the week, and I might drop a video with that. See you.